Hey friends, Sleepy here, and welcome to a new episode of my weekly gaming playlist series. We've made it to another Friday, so it's time for me to let you guys know about the games I've been playing this week. I'll give you guys my opinions and thoughts on them, whether I think you guys should check them out or not. I'd love to hear about your thoughts on the games I shared with you today. If you played them before, let me know if there was something you liked about them, maybe there's something you didn't like about them. I'd also love to hear about the games you guys are currently playing, as it gives me ideas of new games to play and experience. And I do want to thank everyone each week who shares the games they're playing. You guys have got me interested in a lot of games. And if you guys have a recommendation for a game, let me know. I'm always looking for recommendations of games I might have missed. If I have my collection, I'll be able to play them. If not, I'll put them on my list of games to keep an eye out for when I am out game hunting. So I've got just one game to share with you guys this week. It's for the Xbox Series X, and it's one that I've wanted to play for quite some time. I just was waiting for a price drop on it. Now, I am currently on vacation. I started my vacation on Tuesday this week, and I've just been really busy doing family stuff. I went to my brother's wedding, and he got married. We had a good time there. So I haven't had a whole lot of time for gaming, but I did manage to squeeze in a little bit of time here and there. And this is one of the titles that I've wanted to play, as I just got it in the mail recently, and it's Crysis Remastered Trilogy, and I've been playing the original Crysis, the first one. Now, that first Crysis game used to be exclusive to the PC until they released this remastered version to have on consoles, and you can get it on Xbox One. It plays on Xbox Series. You can get it on PlayStation 4. It'll play on the PlayStation 5. You can also get it on PC. But I've wanted to have the original Crysis for many years, as I have not played it since it was originally released on the PC. And back then, it was a very graphically demanding game. It was really hard to get to work on PCs. You had to have the best graphics card, and even then it was really hard to get the game to run because it was programmed pretty terribly, I remember. But my brother did eventually get it to work on one of our computers, and I got to play it back then. It was really awesome, really fun game. Now, I've played Crysis 2 and 3 and beat those on Xbox 360, but it's really neat that you have a remastered in 4K and everything, and the graphics are updated, and all the games do look wonderful on the Xbox Series X that I'm playing it on my 4K TV, and I've been playing the original Crysis. Now, the original Crysis, you play as a character called Nomad, and I'll just read you guys the back. It says, so battle the alien horde on Lingshan Island Chain. So the basic story is that you go to this island where there's some American scientists and stuff, and the island gets taken over by North Koreans, but they end up awakening an alien race, and so you end up having to fight North Koreans, but you also end up fighting aliens, and your character is Nomad, and he has this nano suit that has all this cool military technology where the suit can cloak and go invisible. You can turn on armor. Your guy has super speed. It makes you a super soldier by wearing this suit, which is really cool. It's a really interesting game, so let's take a look at the original Crysis game.
Achieved with CryEngine.
Alright guys, today we're taking a look at Crysis Remastered. Now, this came as part of the Crysis Remastered Trilogy, where you got Crysis 1, 2, and 3. Now, there are a few different ways that you can get this game. You can get it physically, like I did, in the Trilogy Collection. You can also get it digitally as a collection for $50, or you can buy the individual Crysis games separately for $30 each, which I definitely would not recommend getting them separately. You might as well just pay $50 to get them all in one collection, or do what I do and get the physical version for a much cheaper price, so you can have all three Crysis games. And that's what I did. I was waiting for a sale, and I found one on GameFly, and I added it to my collection for like $20-some, and I definitely thought that the collection was worth that price. I have heard a lot of negative things around the remasters. A lot of people who liked it, but they said it was plagued with bugs and stuff. So I don't know if it's been patched since this was originally released or not, but so far I have not encountered any issues, but I'm still very early in the game. And you can see it does take a little bit of time to load in. It's also syncing my data. So you have some basic options here for the game settings. You can have blood if you want to turn blood off. I don't know why you would want to. Aim assist, you can have your crosshair on. You can do a classic nanosuit mode, which it's been so long since I've played the original Crisis for PC. I don't even remember what that would do. You got suit shortcuts, you can adjust your language, difficulty level. You can also change your perspective when driving vehicles, because there's actually vehicles in the game. You can do first person or third person. I just kept it at the first person because I'm so used to doing that in first person shooters with driving. You can adjust your audio and volume. You can adjust the graphics, whether you want performance mode or quality, and you can HDR and motion blur and all that. And then you can adjust your controller settings and stuff for when you're in vehicles, all that kind of stuff. So you have your basic options in this game. So we're playing the campaign, and I'll show you guys where I'm at. Like I said, I'm very early in the game, so I'm just on the first mission.
Better. Looks like General Ri Chong-kyung is in charge of the whole operation. If you thought this would be easy, think again. Kyung means business, and he's got the KPA's elite special forces unit watching his back.
So you guys can see the graphics. I think they look damn good on 4K here. The vegetation, the trees look really good. The grass, the weeds and bushes, like they did a really good job on this remaster, and I think the graphics look amazing. Look at the water effects too. Look very realistic. Very awesome. You also have this little part where you can zoom in, so you do have some pretty cool abilities that you can use since your character is wearing a nano suit, so a suit with technology in it, where you can actually put on extra armor mode, and you have a meter above your health there, which is your energy meter that it consumes as long as you're using any of his special abilities. And then it will recharge on its own. You also have an ability too where you can cloak, which is cool. It makes you feel kind of like a predator, and you can sneak up on enemies. You have your overall objectives of every mission. It'll tell you what you're working on as you go through. But there's also side objectives as well that you can tackle. You don't have to, but you can. So there are some side content in this game as well. Now, it's been years since I've played this game. Oh no, we get no firefight. Look at that little fucker. But you'll see enemies on the radar there, and when they're red, it means they're aware of your presence. When they're yellow, they're just patrolling, wondering where you're at, and if they're green, they don't know anything about where you're at.
Engaged.
You can also take the various enemies' weapons as well, which is pretty cool. So you will find different enemy weapons and stuff. You also can find grenades. And you can take other various ammos too. What's really cool as well is you can pick up random objects in the game and you can actually throw them and use them as weapons against enemies, which is pretty sweet. The game also has random turrets throughout the game that you can use. They have infinite ammo, but they do have a cooldown meter, so it's best to fire them in bursts. You can zoom in, of course. but it does really help in a pinch when you're in battling different waves of enemies and stuff. And what's cool too about this vision here, where you can zoom in, you can actually tag enemies that you see, and they'll come up and stay up on your hub so you can see where the enemies are at. You also have a super speed mode which you can use, which is cool. And what I like is, in the story, it talks about why you have these abilities, because you have this nano suit on. You know, in some other games, you know, you have these superpowers just because you have superpowers, and it doesn't explain why. In this, it's because you're actually wearing a suit, so it makes sense why you'd be able to jump super high, because you have this special suit on, which is pretty sweet. You also can turn night vision mode on, so at night times you can see in the dark, which is pretty sweet. You can adjust whether you want one bullet or you want to do full auto, which is pretty sweet, so you can adjust the different settings on your weapons. Got your melee attacks, of course. You can crouch or go prone. And then there's also various vehicles that you can actually drive too, which is really awesome. I love being able to drive vehicles in games. In the Crysis games, you've always been able to. Like I said, you can adjust it to first person or third person. I love these Humvees because they have weapons on them, or machine guns that you can use. You can also jump up into that seat if you want, but then you can't move. And I love that the environments are destructible. You guys can see I'm tearing down these trees with a machine gun. And your vehicles do have a health meter, so they can only take so much damage before they eventually will be destroyed. You can also turn flashlights on. There's grenades you can use as well, and they do pretty good damage and pretty realistic, so it's really neat having a destructible environment in the game. And I've really enjoyed this game, but I played it back in the day on the PC, and I can definitely tell you the game did not look this good back then, even though this game on the PC when it was originally released was supposed to be like the definition of the best game in the world for graphics, and you had to have the most expensive computer to run it, and you had a lot of hard time getting it to run and stuff. But and that game looks primitive compared to this remastered version. But it's definitely one I think you guys should check out if you've never got a chance to play the old Crysis for PC. I recommend you check out the Crysis Remastered version. You can get it on Xbox, you can get it on PlayStation, the computer, of course. And just overall a really fun first-person shooter I'm looking forward to beating, as it's been years since I got to play this first one, and then when I beat it I would like to go through and beat 2 and 3, because I beat those for the 360, but I'd love to check out the remastered versions. just love how you can just destroy everything in this. Sometimes AI can be stupid like that. Bitch got you. But I just wanted to give you guys a little look at the game. I'm really enjoying it, and I can't wait to beat it because I have not played it in so long. Like I said, I have heard that there are some bugs and issues that people had noticed and encountered when this game was first launched. I don't know if it's been patched since then or not, but so far I haven't encountered anything. But definitely you guys should check out the Crysis Remastered. It's an awesome game. Alright, hope you guys enjoyed that little look at it. You know, I'm just very early into the game. I haven't even got to where I'm fighting the aliens yet. But it's bringing back a lot of memories. And I think the game looks beautiful in 4K. I had mentioned in the gameplay clip that I had read some of the reviews and people talking about they encountered bugs and issues when this game was originally launched in 2020. But I've been playing it and I haven't really encountered any bugs yet. But that doesn't mean I might not run into them. But I'm having a lot of fun with the game. I think the game looks good visually. You know, I love first-person shooters, and I just love being able to finally play Crysis on a console in 4K after not being able to play this game for years, as I do not own it on the PC. I also love being able to, I'm going to be able to go back and play through Crysis 2 and 3 again, as my favorite in the Crysis series has been Crysis 2, but I do want to go through and play through the whole trilogy, and I'm really glad that I got this for a really good deal from Gamefly. I wanted to wait for a price drop on this. You know, I love these games, but I definitely don't think they're worth $50 or $60. You know, this is something I say $30. You know, about $10 each for the game, because we are talking older games. You know, I enjoyed them, but you know, they weren't the best first-person shooters in the world. So this is definitely one of those games I would suggest get it on sale. You know, buy a physical copy you can get for like $20 or $30. You know, don't buy it digitally because it's $50 for the collection, or you can buy individual games for $30. You know, I would just get a physical copy of the game, as it does contain all 3 games on the disc, and you can install it all in from the disc right into your console. Now, what's also cool too is this is one of those Xbox games where you can play the Series X version off of an external hard drive. It does not have to be installed internally. There are some games for the Series X that'll let you do that. So let me know your guys' thoughts if you guys have played any of the games from the Crysis Remastered trilogy. I'm really loving the first one. I can't wait to eventually beat through all 3 of them. Love you guys. I'd love to know your guys' thoughts on these. Let me know what games you guys are currently playing, and if you have a recommendation on the game you think I might enjoy, let me know. I want to thank you guys for watching. Take care. You guys have an amazing day, and Sleepy will see you next time.